Aaron Glenn's plans for the New York Jets quarterback position have been leaked, as recent reports show that Glenn wants to keep New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers on the team over going through other players on the Jets like Jordan Travis, going through free agency and trying to find a player such as Justin Fields and bringing them on, or going through the NFL draft for a quarterback. Aaron Glenn wants to run it back with Rodgers as the quarterback, with Glenn now as the head coach, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here. And if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. For the 80% of people not subscribed to Jets Digest, if you want daily Jets rumors, updates, all the breakdowns on everything New York Jets, make sure to subscribe to Jets Digest, the best spot for all New York Jets updates. But let's jump into this video. There's a lot to talk about as the New York Jets have entered a new era with Aaron Glenn as the team's head coach. They've made the signing today as Matt looks at our just awesome head coach. It's going to be very exciting to watch Glenn coach. And the first news that has come out is that Aaron Glenn reportedly wants Rodgers back with the New York Jets next season. Now, taking a dive into this, it was revealed by Michael Kay, who you might know from Yes Network as the New York Yankees play-by-play caller, that there's word out there. There's been leaks that Kay has heard that Aaron Glenn has made it known that he would like to keep Aaron Rodgers around on the New York Jets. And on top of that, as Rich Cimini and ESPN discussed, unlike the previous regime, which included a familiar face in Nathaniel Hackett and catered to every whim that Aaron Rodgers has no previous ties to Aaron Glenn. He'd be playing for someone whom he doesn't have links to and potentially be learning a new playbook, which can be loathsome for older players. In other words, his comfort zone would be gone, but Glenn wants to keep Rodgers around, Matt, meaning I have a feeling that Glenn is going to try to talk to Rodgers and find a way where these two can work together to figure out a plan. Something that Aaron Rodgers has consistently been adamant about, that he wants to work with the head coaches, with the new with the head coach, with the coaching staff, with the new GM, whoever that may be, to figure out a plan on if he should stay with the New York Jets or not, despite Rodgers continually saying that he wants to stay with the Jets and he's willing to take a pay cut to do so. This is a good sign, in my opinion. I'm in the pro Aaron Rodgers hive, and I think that having Glenn around as a head coach who's just a good head coach to have, especially for a young team, and can help bring the Jets back, and Aaron Rodgers being the best quarterback the Jets could possibly have on their team next year, I think this is a perfect storm.
There is no doubt that Aaron Rodgers is unhappy with the way this season went, and he is looking for ways to prove to the rest of the league that he's still Aaron Rodgers, that he still can be that MVP level type of player. So I have no doubt that he is going to want to work with Aaron Glenn and learn a new system to prove people that he can still play very well. We have to remember it's not just Aaron Glenn's decision to keep on Aaron Rodgers. It also comes down to Woody Johnson, who we heard that relationship has been fractured, although we hope Woody Johnson has the backbone to let the guys he hired do their jobs. Let the GM that we don't know yet and the head coach do their jobs, make their own personnel decisions. Let the head coach make his start-sit decisions. Let the GM make the personnel decisions. Talking about the GM a little bit, it's mostly going to come down to whoever sits in that seat. We're probably going to find out in the next week here who that GM is going to be. Their number one goal is going to be figuring out whether Aaron Rodgers is going to be the head coach or it's going to be the quarterback of the New York Jets next year, because he has the biggest cap hit and he is easily the biggest question mark on the New York Jets roster, only under contract for one more year, but he has so much dead money coming up that there are a lot of bad outcomes with Aaron Rodgers should he, even if you cut him and spread out the money, there's not a good option for Aaron Rodgers. So whoever the GM is going to have to do some fancy financial footwork to get that figured out. As far as Aaron Rodgers' relationship with Aaron Glenn, I think Aaron Glenn is going to be the type of coach who is going to be able to stand up to Aaron Rodgers and look him in his face and say, I know the person you are. I know the person you've been. I know the kind of respect that you garner in this league, but I'm the head coach, and that respect has to go both ways. Aaron Rodgers, I'm hoping, can stand up, look at Aaron Glenn in the eyes as well and say, you know what? I can respect you as a head coach. What do you want me to do? And then Aaron Glenn is going to hand over Aaron Rodgers to the offensive coordinator, and Aaron Rodgers can learn a new scheme and be coached and be coachable instead of just being the be-all, end-all, the guy who gets everything that he asks for and everything that he needs to be successful.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect situation for Jets fans because we're not going to see Aaron Rodgers be able to walk all over the New York Jets, where it felt like it was going to work that first year because of the personnel brought in. I mean, Dalvin Cook became a New York Jet. They had Breece Hall drafted. Felt like they had that two-headed monster there. They had Garrett Wilson. They had everyone under the sun, and given maybe it would have worked out, Aaron Rodgers obviously tearing his Achilles 4 plays in didn't help. But it just felt like things went poorly overall with the New York Jets in a general sense. But look, now here we are. Aaron Glenn's not going to let Rodgers do that. I mean, and you could tell when Salah was getting excited and pushing Rodgers like in like a hype way. Like he was getting hyped, trying to hype up Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron was like, "Get off of me, dude." Like it feels like Glenn it would be different. Where Aaron Glenn is just not going to be like trying to be Aaron Rodgers' best friend. He's trying to be his coach. He's trying to make this team as good as humanly possible. And that's what Aaron Rodgers wants. As you said, Rodgers definitely didn't like the way this season went. There's no way that you could be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and not be a competitive psychopath. So Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you look at him and you think, he's looking at this 5-12 season. He's like, the eyes are on me. They're thinking I can't do this anymore. I have to turn around and show them that I'm still that guy, that I'm the enigma. And look, I love the idea. Now, Rich Cimini discussed this and just the Aaron Rodgers situation in general. And he mentioned that Aaron Glenn was the Saints assistant for Drew Brees' final season in 2020, so he knows what it's like to be around an aging legend. But that experience is vastly different from this situation because Brees was a New Orleans pillar. Tight with coach Sean Payton and entrenched in the system, Glenn still considered Aaron Rodgers an elite quarterback at the time of his trade to the New York Jets, as most did. It's unclear how he feels now. This is a tough decision for Glenn and whoever the new GM is. They will be hard-pressed to find a better quarterback in the offseason market. On the flip side, it might be tricky to create a team-first culture with Rodgers and everything that comes with him in the building. That's what it comes down to. That's where it's an Aaron Glenn gut check time. You keep Aaron Rodgers around, Glenn's got to prove he's like, this guy's not going to walk all over me at all. I'm calling the shots here. I'm paid to be the head honcho. Yes, Aaron Rodgers can have a say in what goes on. He is this franchise quarterback. He is Aaron Rodgers after all. But this is my team. Things go how I say, and you're going to have to be okay with that because we're trying to win, and I'll take your opinions and all that, but I have the final say here. I'm the head coach. So it's a matter of seeing if Aaron Glenn will do that. And if we know one thing about Aaron Glenn, it's that he will do that. He's not going to let Aaron Rodgers run the show. He's not going to back down to him the way Ulbrich and Saleh did. I really, really think that Aaron Glenn is a good coach for Rodgers because he'll keep Rodgers in check. And if Aaron Glenn can't, then it's a sign that no one can at this point of Aaron Rodgers' career, and there's nothing you can do about that. But as Cimini mentioned, Glenn and the GM are going to be hard-pressed to find a better quarterback than Rodgers. We could save everyone some time here. They won't. There's no one hitting free agency. That includes Sam Darnold. There is no one hitting free agency that, as of right now, where everyone stands, is better than Aaron Rodgers. No one comes close. Justin Fields comes nowhere nearby. And, obviously, I can't say much more because then Matt will talk for another 9 straight minutes on why Justin Fields is overrated. Not that I'm saying I disagree. I'm just saying. We'll save that for another time in case, the Justin Fields rumors come back.
There will be another time.
There will be another time. The Justin Fields rumors are not dead. The Justin Fields rumors are alive and well.
Justin Fields rumors will never die.
They will never die. But
Chris, you know what other rumors could be heating up pretty soon here is the Jets drafting a quarterback in the first round, because we saw 2 months ago, according to someone big like Adam Schefter or someone that type of big, tweeted out that the New York Jets were planning on taking a quarterback in the first round, regardless of whether Aaron Rodgers was on the roster or not. Now, of course, since then we've lost our GM, so it could have been Joe Douglas putting that out there. But we are seeing, as of today, Travis Hunter's odds to be the first overall pick in the draft. Chris, I do have to apologize to you. I saw a report yesterday when his odds were plus 1,400 to go first overall, and I was going to tell you to bet him to go first overall. He's down to plus 140. He is getting very close to Cam Ward in the race for the first overall pick. I've been saying on this channel since it started that the quarterbacks in this draft class are not worth top 5 picks. And the Vegas odds are starting to reflect that. The media is starting to turn on these quarterbacks in the draft process. They see the fact that these are not elite prospects and the fact that there are elite prospects in this draft. So there is a world where the New York Jets do get Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward falling to 7. It's very unlikely, but it's not impossible. Today, the Tennessee Titans said they're not going to be passing up on an elite prospect. I don't know if you know anything about the Titans, but they don't have a quarterback. They could take whoever their favorite quarterback is at 1, but they're not going to, because the quarterbacks aren't worthy of being taken that high. And I understand you need to find a quarterback. It's the most important position, but the opportunity cost is just way too high in a draft where there's Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Will Johnson, even T-Mac or Kelvin Banks. Like, there are really, really good players. I just got to address that. We cannot be wasting our first round pick on a quarterback unless we trade down to like 15 or 16, and then you can go get either Cam Ward or my quarterback number 2, Jalen Milroe.
Yeah. I don't want the Jets to draft a quarterback at all. I want them to use Aaron Rodgers, and honestly, that's where I stand. Like, look, I'd rather
by it all, you mean not in like the first 2 rounds? Because of course, if they draft a quarterback,
absolutely.
If they draft a quarterback like Curtis Slovic, no, what was his name? Curtis Rourke out of Illinois, he's pretty solid in like the 5th round. There are some other 5th, 6th round, 7th round guys. You wouldn't have a problem with that, of course, right?
Yeah, that's completely different. That is 1,000%.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify before you got attacked in the comment section.
Absolutely. Like, if you want to draft someone in rounds 4 through 7 as a quarterback, go ahead. Makes sense. But I think next year, the best option for the Jets is you run it back with Rodgers and Tyrod, and you still have Jordan Travis there. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to run that back. Try one more time under a new regime. I think it will work, Matt. I really do. I think that things are on the right path with Aaron Glenn as the head coach. I mean, Rodgers did not have a bad season last year. When you look at his numbers, they weren't fully Aaron Rodgers numbers, but he didn't have a bad season.
Well, I'm seeing his numbers. There's actually are those the right stats? Because I only see one number on that screen, and the only number I see is 5, which is the amount of games that he won. Which, when you're a 4-time MVP, and when you're someone who's came in as a franchise savior, the only stat that matters is your wins. Nothing else matters. Don't tell me anything else about what he did. Don't tell me his passing yards, his completion percentage. Don't tell me the New York Jets were 3rd in defensive yards allowed per game. Look it up. Aaron Rodgers, yes, the defense wasn't good, but that stat still stands. Aaron Rodgers did not win enough games. His stats don't matter. The only stat that matters is wins, and he beat the Titans, the Patriots. Texans are a good win, and the Jaguars, they don't count either.
I still stand by.
But I do want to bring him back. Not hating, want to bring him back.
I still stand by if you throw for that many yards. I mean, if you're able to do this, I think you are worth being brought back. I don't think Rodgers was bad last year. I think he was disappointing. I think there's a difference.
I agree. I agree that he wasn't bad. I'm just saying the stats don't matter.
I think that he'll be better next year than he was this year, personally.
I don't. His stats can get worse if he wins the Jets more games, like goes on 2 or 3 fourth quarter game-winning drives. He will have a better season. That would constitute a better season, even if he only wins like 8 games, because he didn't have any fourth quarter game-winning drives unless they did it against the Jaguars.
0 for 5.
Oh, okay, so he didn't do it.
No.
I don't remember exactly how the Jags game ended, but yeah,
I scored 6 touchdowns.
You bring him in to win 3 games like that, and he failed every single time.
Yeah, look, it wasn't a great season by the Jets whole, but I think it's just everything that could have went wrong last year. It was a Murphy's Law season or a New York Jets Law season, and it is what it is. Look, I think Rodgers is going to be across the board better next year. Year removed from the Achilles. I don't think there's going to be a massive drop-off from one difference of a year when you're in your 40s. I think Rodgers is the guy next year. I think Aaron Glenn's right. I really want to see
Aaron Rodgers, he did look better towards the back. Like the last 5 games, he looked a lot better than he did the first couple games. So if he can get that Aaron Rodgers, we might have a chance here with a real head coach.
And Aaron Glenn is certainly that. Guys, do you want Aaron Rodgers back? Let us know in the comments down below. We'll throw a poll up on the page. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.